Because we've not been.
Not all the time. No, I don't know.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to this impromptu TikTok live that we were guided to come on and do. So we haven't been live on TikTok for quite a while, and it's very impromptu. So we might not have anybody joining us.
Yay.
But that's okay.
That's good. That's fine.
Okay.
You're joining us at an energetic level.
Yes.
So either way you'll be tuned in. If it's for you, you'll feel it.
And we'll be probably sharing this on YouTube anyway, so even if nobody joins us, we will be sharing it on YouTube. Oh, hi Jan.
Hi Jan.
Thanks for joining. So we're just coming on to do a we just got the guidance to come on and do a very impromptu live on TikTok. Sorry, loads of stuff happening on my Facebook. We've not been live on TikTok for quite a while. We've not been live anywhere for quite a while because we've been moving through some initiations and a shift in our consciousness and in our divine union template and field. So we have not been going live. We have very much been doing the inner work and going on our own journey of ascension, essentially, and kind of taking a bit of a break from putting out collective transmissions and guidance, etc., because we've been so focused on our own inner union journey and our own reclamation process. So it's nice to be back doing a live.
Yay.
And we've only got a little window of opportunity before we have another client. We've just done the most amazing mentorship session.
Yeah,
with one of our clients.
A big release.
Yeah.
A big step up.
Very, very powerful.
Amazing. It's probably one of the best I think we've seen, especially the reaction and releasing a lot of stuff and reclaiming that king template, which is beautiful. It was a divine masculine, which is what I strive for anyway. It's like, because it's one of my roles is here to assist the divine masculine and the divine kings to rise in this world that we're in and reclaim their throne and reclaim their kingdom.
Yes. So for anybody that doesn't know me, I'm Diane.
I'm Gary.
And we are Indigo Blue Star. So this is our TikTok, Indigo Blue Star. We are spiritual coaches, ascension guides, quantum coaches,
mentors,
quantum life coaches. So we combine certain tools and techniques of quantum healing, quantum activation with life coaching to create the reality that you desire, to assist you to create the reality that you desire. So we very much do a lot of work around reality creation and creating your dream life, creating heaven on earth for yourself, and a lot of activation of the kings and queens and those on the divine union pathway, those that are on the twin flame journey, if you want to call it that, and just at helping people achieve spiritual mastery so that they can really
step into their power
in all aspects of their life. So we do have a link tree in our bio that's got all of our services. We offer divine feminine mentorship, divine masculine mentorship, and we also offer joint mentorship through the Eden experience, where we help to restore people's original organic Edenic blueprint. And we're going to be offering joint quantum life coaching soon as well, but we haven't put that out there yet. So welcome if you're joining, and thank you Jan.
Thank you, Jan.
I appreciate that. I also have a divine feminine light temple space that's called the Royal Houses of Sophia, the Sophia frequency, where I'm working with divine feminines who hold a solar feminine template to restore that solar feminine template. Hello. And to reclaim their Sophianic template gifts, abilities and remembrance. So that is running for 14 weeks. I think it finishes in June, but I'm going to run that again and Gary's working on a solar masculine
Yeah.
container right now as well.
That'll be in a couple of months.
Yeah, so we're all about the rise of the solar masculine and the solar feminine, and what we wanted to come on and speak about today was just about our own journey. So we've been in physical union since 2021, try to remember, June 2021. So we came into contact in June 2020 online as divine counterparts. So we are one soul and masculine and feminine embodiment who were contracted to come into union in this lifetime to step into a life of service and walk the path of the divine couple on organic ascension. So we came into physical union in June 2021 and we stepped into our mission, our joint mission, not long after that. We created Indigo Blue Star and began to work with the collective to help to activate them, empower them and share certain keys and codes, etc. So we work with a lot of divine union couples. We also do a lot of womb healing. Something that we're contracted to do is to raise the frequency of the sacred womb Hara portal.
Yeah, that's where everything happens. That's when we do a lot of powerful work around the womb and the Hara, which the results are phenomenal. And we love doing it as a twin flame couple. It actually amplifies it, and it comes from both sides of the masculine and feminine with the rebalance of that, and it's actually beautiful when we see people and the people that we work with. The results are absolutely amazing, and it's one of the things that I really love doing is because I know that that's the centre of your power, and that's like when we work in the centre of our power, because we hold on to a lot of distortions, a lot of past life stuff, and all the darkness, is in there, the dark partners, the dark mother, father energy, all of these things are embedded into that area. And when you work on that, that's like a massive shift in your whole ascension journey.
Yeah, it's all about reclaiming the power of the womb and the Hara. It's an integral part of the spiritual ascension journey that's quite often bypassed. People are very focused on working in these upper chakras and finding their higher connection, when really we need to be anchoring in the higher connection through our physical body. So we need to be working on the lower chakras as well, the solar plexus, the sacral and the root, which are very, very important energy centres. So a big part of our work is restoring the purity of the womb Hara portal for the divine masculine and divine feminine, to enable them to come into divine union within and to then reunite with a counterpart if that's part of their path. Sorry, there's loads of animals walking about outside, it's like a zoo. So we're in Mexico. So we moved to Mexico in October last year from Scotland, as you could probably tell with our accents, in the UK from Hamilton in Scotland. We came here 2.5 years ago to do a whole life coaching course with the Doca Detox, Dr. Darryl Wolfe, and went back to Scotland, implemented a lot of those teachings and that practice. Gary was doing Wolfe non-surgical bodywork and
tissue work
in Scotland, and bringing in these really powerful holistic protocols for healing. And we were just guided back to Mexico. We were guided on our path that we had a mission here in Mexico to anchor in our divine union legacy and our divine union frequency. So since coming to Mexico in October, we've been doing a lot of grid work, but we've also been doing a lot of really deep healing.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that we're taking from it, the deep healing. And we've also done the coaching course again as well. Twice, so we became master practitioners in that. And the healing comes in very many stages, and this was just another stage for us. We imagined we were coming here as like to grow and expand and stuff, but we didn't really imagine that we were coming to actually even heal at a deeper level, at a multi-dimensional level. And for us we had to do this because it would have been, we couldn't have done it, I don't think, in Scotland, It was totally different environment, totally different grid system. And here we had to move into this paradise code to be able to release and anchor in as well with higher dimensionality and release all these lower dark distortions and stuff that we had, and we're womb and we're hara as well, and we're heart, and right through our whole entire body. And for ancestral stuff as well, there's a lot of ancestral stuff. So it's been a beautiful journey, a beautiful transition as we move through this, and we become into we step into our higher beings that we are, in our higher dimensions, in the true God source.
Yeah, so back when we were in Scotland, we were obviously doing a lot of work. We were doing a lot of quantum work. We were actually working really hard to get ourselves to Mexico, because we knew that was our destiny, and doing a lot of clearing out, finishing up contracts, basically just putting ourselves into the energy of this higher timeline that we knew was our destiny, that we were meant to come to Mexico. So we worked for 2 years, creating this reality that we have now, where we're now living a beautiful life in Mexico, and we're beginning to, we've healed on such a deep level since coming here. Like Gary said, we've done the whole life coach course with the Doka Detox another twice, so that's 3 times we've done it. That's a very, very powerful course. It's all about breaking down your subconscious beliefs, your programs. It's not a wishy-washy course at all. It's
full intensive 9-day course, and it's like 8 in the morning till 5 in the evening, sometimes even later. So it's an intensive course. It's breaking down all the barriers, everything.
You're really faced
it goes with
yourself.
your inner child. It's like it's breaking everything down in a physical, emotional, spiritual level. It's like it's an immense course, but it's like it changed and transformed both our lives, the course. So it's like this is something that was part of our endearment on this journey. And that course has just been putting it all together, the spiritual, emotional, physical, the mental, all of it, and just it's a big combination. We've been doing it all for the last few years since we came back to our union. So, and that's the thing, a lot of people maybe just focus on the spiritual and try and tap into the higher dimensional stuff, but they don't realise that there's a lot of stuff in the deeper, darkest corners that needs to be cleared out, in the programming from this lifetime as well, because we're ancestral programming that comes through that we need to clear out, and that course was a lot to do with that. It's about breaking free from the programs, and this in the subconscious mind is actually transferring the subconscious mind back to the conscious mind. So it is beautiful, and it totally expanded our abilities.
Our consciousness expanded our consciousness and enabled us to raise into a higher frequency
vibration.
And we are a divine union couple, so we have been through. We were in separation for 30 years before we came back into union. We met as teenagers in the 90s, and that was our initial activation, and then we went on our separate hiragamic journey of reclamation and all that we had came here to experience and achieve. Before we came back into union in 2020 online, and then in physical in June 2021. So our whole journey has been about breaking free of control systems, beliefs, patterns, addictions, behaviours. The hiragamic marriage, or the divine union between the divine couples, is the most attacked force on earth. We're attacked at every level to keep us in separation consciousness, to stop us coming into divine union, because we hold specific keys and codes for each other, that when we come into divine union we become very, very powerful. We start to remember all of our lifetimes and all of the timelines when we have been, divine kings and queens holding divine union temple spaces, and all of the mastery that we hold becomes unlocked through that hiragamic union from the divine couple. So coming into union in 2021 unlocked a lot of our remembrance and our spiritual gifts, our spiritual abilities, our purpose, our path, our mission, and we've journeyed through that for the last few years, and then we got to a point where we really wanted to just create a beautiful life for ourselves, because we've experienced so much suffering and so much adversity and so much kind of trauma through our lives, through being this divine union couple in separation and working through the gates of Heros Gamos, which is the Christos Sophia mission, Christos Sophia template and mission. And working through these gates of Heros Gamos, you're working through a lot of distortion, you're working through a lot of darkness, you're working through a lot of, as Gary said, dark mother, dark father, energy reversals, lunar imprints, Lilith imprints, Azazel imprints, all of these imprints that are distortions on our consciousness and distortions on our true solar king and queen template. So it's a restoration of that solar king and queen template that you're doing through your union, through your love, through the power of the alchemization that you can bring in through this physical union. And we came on today just to speak a bit. Like I said, we've not been on TikTok live for quite a while. We've not really been going live anywhere, and we've not been putting out videos around spirituality or guidance or anything for the collective, because we've just been on our own journey and our own path of reclamation. So our TikTok, we've just been sharing a bit of our life in Mexico and what it's like to live here, the delicious food, the gorgeous weather, the beautiful beaches,
the lovely people,
absolutely beautiful people. So we've just been sharing about our lives, and really we came to Mexico all gung-ho, focused on the mission, what we're here to create, what we're here to birth, what we're here to do to help others. We've got a mission here in Mexico.
With a plan
of what we wanted to achieve. We wanted to create something that people could come to and tap into, not only our divine union frequency, that heaven and earth frequency, but also the paradise grid here. We were guided to a certain location that holds, paradise codes, which is codes of Holy Mother, Holy Father that are not distorted yet. And that was the focus. However, on this journey, you come across certain curveballs and twists and turns on the path that can take you in a different direction. And not long after arriving here, we got the opportunity to do the course again, which wasn't part of our plan. We weren't expecting it, and that just shifts your frequency. That shifted our frequency into like a higher level of consciousness, a higher. It brought on a lot of activation around what our true path and purpose and mission is, and about like the quantum coaching and the quantum activation that we are here to do, and the mastery codes that we hold that enable us to open up portals for people to step into their own divine union template, but also this heaven and earth, this beautiful lifestyle, this paradise lifestyle. So we did the course in October, and then we did the course again in January, and that was our third time.
And the thing about the course was we didn't really think we needed the course a second or a third time.
No, we didn't.
But when we done the course, and it was like more was dropping in, and there was more releasing to be done, and it's like we say, everything's done in layers. It's done at divine timing, and it's beautiful. Like the second course and the third course were even totally different from the first course. Yeah. They were all different, and they were all similar in the way it was presented. But it was like for the emotions and for the release and stuff, and the expansion that I got from it. Anyway, the both of us got a massive expansion from it and massive growth, to see how far that we have progressed on our journey in 2.5 years since we've done the first course, and our spiritual journey, and how more we were more confident and everything, and just the amount of stuff that was coming through. And I even had more release. I even had a big remembrance, and like there was loads of stuff came through on the both courses. And this just goes to show you that sometimes when you've got a plan and you're going gung-ho forward, the universe is going, whoa, you still need this, and you just need to go with it. You need to go with whatever the universe is presenting you, and realise that everything is divine timing. and it's done for your highest and greatest good, and you're being guided at all times, and even sometimes through the rough times when you're maybe no feeling's good, and you just need to believe that the universe is part of the journey. A lot of people maybe don't like to go through the deep stuff. We went through a lot of deep stuff, but we went through a lot of traumas in our lives before, so we were prepared. All the stuff that happened before in our lives prepared us for this deep work that we've been doing in ourselves for the last 2.5 years, this deep initiation work, the deep growth, the deep expansion, and pulling all these traumas out and realising that it's only us that was holding on to these things. And when we start to be able to use the universe and use that and use our higher gifts and our abilities to understand these things and release all of the griefs and traumas and sadness and hurt and anger and fear and all these emotions that keep us stuck in a lower dimensional frequency and vibration, we start to work on our health as well. All of this with the gut, all of these things, and the soul, the womb, the hara, and all of our whole body.
Hello.
It's absolutely amazing.
Hi Melanie,
Hi,
thanks
Melanie.
for joining. So we have been going through like a lot of deep initiations and a lot of really deep healing. Like we came to Mexico, did the course twice, and we've also been using cardio med beds, which is energy medicine, through our lifestyle, addiction for myself, and just trauma and lifestyle and living in Scotland and your diet and things like that. We did have a lot of damage to our physical bodies as well, that had to be healed, that had to be repaired, and that's why it's very, very, thank you Melanie, I appreciate that. It's very, very important on this journey. Thank you for the rose to work on all levels. We're not just spiritual mentors, we're whole life coaches, we're master practitioners, we are quantum masters. We've mastered the quantum field through our own union, through our own gifts, reclaiming our own mastery through multidimensional timelines and embodying that, and we work in all levels to become the highest and best version of ourselves. So the cardio med beds were a big factor in a lot of the releasing that we've been doing recently, and the initiations that we've been going through, because we store things deep within our physical bodies. We store trauma, we store memory, we store sadness, guilt, shame, fear, all of these low vibrational emotions and experiences that you can work on all day long on an energetic level, on a quantum level, but you need to get this out of your physical body as well, and out of your deep cellular memory and your DNA, in order to fully reclaim your true divine template, your true divine blueprint. So the cardio med beds was really helping with that, because it's actually like cuffs that you put in your body that pumps all the blood and all the oxygen all through your body, so your body starts to become more oxygenated, and your lymphatic drainage improves and your circulation improves. So where there's been like blockages or tissue death, or
read about your heart area and stuff, it's amazing for that.
Anywhere that you're holding distortion in your physical body, it's pumping that out of you. So I had a period where I went on the cardio med beds for almost 3 weeks, every day, Monday to Friday, and I actually had to stop. Because it was physically, mentally and emotionally draining me, because it was bringing up a lot of trauma and a lot of grief that was stored deep within my cellular memory, like through years of addiction and traumatic relationships and sexual abuse and things like that. So it was all coming up to the surface because these cardio med beds were pumping it out of my cellular memory. So all that work that I've been doing, and in my union and alone, quantum work, etc., healing, as Gary said, it does it in layers. It had only cleared it to a certain level. It was still in my cellular memory, it was still in my DNA,
vessel.
It was still in my physical vessel. So coming to Mexico for us, as I said, we thought we're coming here, we're going to open up a beautiful retreat centre, we're going to create things for people. And then it was like this curveball where God was like, no, do you know what? You're actually going to become the highest and best version of yourself in all levels. You're going to become deeper into union, you're going to be more embodied, and you're really going to be a vibrational match for that, what you are creating and what your divine union legacy is. So we've taken a bit of a step back from doing collective transmissions and putting ourselves out there so much, just to focus on our own, I suppose, clearing our union template and our own coming into deeper herogamic union and solar masculine and feminine unification. And this is something I wanted to speak about. So
that's right, step back to take steps forward.
Exactly.
Sometimes that's it. The universe has shown you that. That's the thing, and it's like Diane's saying, it's not just a multi-dimensional thing. It's the physical vessel that carries us through this earth. That we are the spirit in this. We are the spark in this physical vessel, and this physical vessel is absolutely amazing. And if we don't keep on top of it, well, we can't keep going with our journey, with what it is we're here to put out to the world, to create this beautiful love for everybody, and to expand that love around the world, and that's when the body's not functioning right.
Thanks
we've
for
got
joining.
blockages. It means we've got multi-dimensional blockages as well, and we've cleared out a lot. And the med beds are a
big part
are
of
like
it.
a 3-hour workout in an hour. No, a 3-hour workout in an hour. It's like running a marathon basically in an hour, depending on how much you want it to go, because you can turn it up. And it basically replaces all your capillaries, your arteries, and with 40, if you get 40 med beds, it'll actually renew everything around your heart. You won't need any heart work or anything, because obviously, and it can renew everything in your body, but release all the blockages on a multi-dimensional level.
And that's what it really did for me. It got me to a place where I was able to release deep cellular trauma and deep cellular memory of like addiction and trauma and things that you know, I felt like I dealt with on an energetic level. You know, they weren't affecting me anymore. But when I used the medbed, I did have a bit of a healing crisis where I was just physically exhausted, I was emotionally exhausted, and thank you so much, Melanie. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Because as I said, we haven't been going live, so we knew that, you know, many people might not come on, but we do what we're guided to do. So we were guided to come on. So we just wanted to share a bit about, you know, don't feel that if you feel your path is changing, or you don't feel aligned completely with the purpose or the mission that you always had, or you're getting guidance to go in a different direction, or you're getting guidance to pull back and just focus on your own healing journey, your own integration journey. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of taking that time to really rebirth yourself. It is a rebirth. That's what it is. I mean, we've been going through another ego death, another integration of our higher self, and it's a collective thing that we're all going through. It's not just us, but for us, I think it's been really deep because we've been, you know, done the course twice since we came here, which obviously shifts your frequency, your consciousness, brings on more remembrance of who you truly are, and more of your mission, your purpose, your path, more of your quantum mastery, and more of the belief that you can create whatever you want. It gets rid of those programs that make you question your own ability to create. So it definitely brought on more of that, and then using the cardio med beds brought up more of the cellular memory that was stored deep within our tissues, within our body. And then for myself, I stepped out into the divine feminine solar feminine leadership with an immersion, a beautiful immersion called the Royal Houses of Sophia, the Sophia frequency. Now, I was asked to birth that a year ago in May back in Scotland. I got the guidance from Mother Sophia that she said, I want you to create something for other Sophianic women to be able to activate and to be able to reclaim their Sophianic template. and that was a year ago in May, and at that time I thought that's going to be really straightforward, it's going to be really easy, I know what I'm going to do. And it's been the biggest initiation journey, actually getting to a point to put that creation out there. And I've had to go through more initiations, more challenges, I've had to do more quantum work, I've had to do more healing around distorted sisterhood, and I've had to really embody more of that solar feminine template myself in order to lead that immersion, and in order to be, you know, the most authentic version of myself. And what that has meant for me is like clearing out distortion. So like Gary says, we all have distortion, and the solar feminine has a lot of distortion of our Sophianic template, a lot of reversals, implants, lunar implants, sexual implants, sexual misery implants, anti-herogamic reversals that were designed to destroy that Sophianic template and that Sophianic medicine that she holds. And it goes back multidimensionally to, you know, timelines of Lemuria, when we held these beautiful Sophianic temples, sisterhood circles, and then from Lemuria, following the fall of Lemuria into Atlantis, Egypt, etc., the distortion came in, and it came in deeper, and our DNA started to get distorted. There was implants, devices inserted. And it was pure desecration of the Sophianic template and the Sophianic solar feminine. So to step back into that and to step out as a solar feminine, it brings up a lot of resistance. It brings up a lot of internal resistance from the distortions in your own field, but it also brings up a lot of resistance from people around you, from the New Age, from the lunar feminine, from, you know, distorted New Age teachings, from distorted false light teachings, from distorted twin flame teachings, which we're seeing.
Hi Gosia.
Hi Gosia, thanks for joining, which we're seeing as well, actually, people out there who are very active in the spiritual community, the New Age spiritual community, who are actually false light twin flame teachers as well, and what they're actually doing is they're implanting people's fields, and they're not bringing in true codes of divine union and connection to Mother, Father, God. So we've been working through, for me especially, stepping into like divine feminine, solar feminine leadership. It brought up many initiations that I had to journey through over this last year, and a lot of resistance to stepping into that role, because I remember what happened the last time I was a solar feminine, teaching solar feminine principles and Sophianic medicine. And what I went through in the last kind of few weeks was actually an exorcism. It was an exorcism of a demonic entity that I had agreed to host, named Lilith. So what we're going through right now as a collective, especially the Divine Feminine collective, but also the Divine Masculine collective, is a clearing out of these distorted energy reversals within our solar masculine, solar feminine template. So they're Lilith reversals and Azazel reversals for the masculine aspect, but we'll have both because we have masculine and feminine energy. So for myself, what happened to me is I went into this really dark place, and it was during stepping out with this immersion, the Sophianic immersion, that some of you are part of, and welcome for being here. And it was during that I went into a dark place where I was feeling like negative energies, negative entities, negative thoughts coming in. I was feeling a deep disconnection within our union. I was feeling separation from Gary, which I've never ever felt since we came into union, not once. And I was feeling this deep separation. I was feeling a deep separation from Sophia, from the Holy Mother, and just feeling a lot of like distorted thoughts coming in, you know, my emotions starting to get a bit erratic and starting to feel a real darkness, like I was shrouded in darkness. That's the only way I can describe it. And I knew you're going through some sort of initiation, you're going through some sort of reclamation. But I was going into a really dark place of disconnection and just really feeling this energy of this dark entity, this dark being. And it was taking me back to timelines of addiction, timelines of trauma, sexual abuse, etc. Because these things are being expelled from my being, you know, and I really feel the cardio medbeds are a big part of that. It was to help me push all of that cellular memory out, and then stepping into the solar feminine leadership. It's like you have to go through initiations and reclamation of that Sophianic template. So what I actually experienced was an exorcism of this demon, Lilith, an energy reversal, and it was a soul contract, because when I felt into it on a deeper level, it was a release of a very outdated soul contract that I held within my cellular memory, when what came through to me was that I had agreed to rehabilitate this frequency. I'd taken it on as part of my mission to rehabilitate this frequency of Lilith, the Dark Mother consciousness, but it was done through coercion and manipulation, and that entity has stayed with me my whole life. That entity has been within me, so I've been holding codes of the Sophianic feminine, but also the shadow feminine, throughout my whole life as part of my mission, which is taking me into dark places of addiction and, you know, connecting with really dark masculines, toxic masculines, narcissistic masculines, etc. And I finally exorcised that demon. I finally released it from my field, from my cellular memory, from my body, from my being. Multidimensionally, on a multidimensional level, and it really was an exorcism. It really was, and we just experienced that. That's what we were just saying. We did a session with a client there, and we just watched that client exorcise a demon within them, and it was one of the most powerful things we've ever witnessed. We actually saw it being released on a multi-dimensional ancestral level. It was super powerful. So this is why we wanted to come on and talk about this, is to make people aware that we all have distortion in our field, and anybody that's claiming to be pure light, pure love and light, pure you know, only holding a divine blueprint, they're not aware of the distortion that they hold yet. They've not tapped into it yet at that level, and we all hold distortion, we all hold anti-hiragamic reversals, we all hold lunar imprints, lunar memory. And yeah, like Lilith and Hecate are coming in really strong, you're right, Melanie. We did a womb healing the other day as well, where it was exact same. It was all about these Lilith reversals. Hecate came in very strongly. No, sorry, it wasn't Hecate, but the Lilith reversals came in very strongly. So as divine feminines, as solar feminines, what we're doing right now is reclaiming our solar template, because the Sophianic codes, the Sophianic frequency, the aqua ray of the Holy Mother of the 13th dimension has anchored in so strongly into Earth that we're able to remember that we hold these Sophianic codes, that we hold this Sophianic template, and it's allowing us to clear out all of this dark distorted consciousness of the Dark Mother, the Dark Father, you know, the Lilith reversals, the Azazel reversals, the anti-hiragamic reversals, the lunar imprints. And I'm not going to talk about the lunar consciousness too much, but it is a Dark Mother consciousness. It's a dark frequency that's been used to siphon our Sophianic medicine, our Sophianic codes, and keep us in a lower bandwidth of experience and consciousness, where we are not able to reclaim our full solar template. So this exorcism of this demon was a reclamation of solar feminine power and sovereignty in me. Also within our union, because I had to release that dark feminine entity from my being, from my soul contracts, from my soul memory, in order to come into deeper union with Gary.
That's for sure. Because I felt it, and my role in that was just holding space, to be honest, and just not being triggered, and just being there and understanding. And I mean, for me to get to that stage of this is absolutely beautiful in my eyes, and it also freed me up for growth and expansion as well. So when Diane released this, eventually it was like it brought a lot of stuff back for me. It brought a lot of my gifts and abilities back online. I get a lot of downloads. I get a lot of upgrades through this. So it's on a quantum level and a multi-dimensional level around the world just now that this is going to be happening to free up the divine masculines to stand in their power, because the divine masculines have been in a slumber for too long, and the divine feminines have been taking the onus. They've been the ones that are out there. They're the ones that are bringing all the stuff through, and the ones that are coming back into themselves, their remembrance of who they are and why they're here, and been coming online. And divine masculines have been slowly but surely wakening up and from the wounded toxic masculinity traits, and it's starting to move and it's starting to shift. And as the divine feminine moves into their power, because the divine feminine are the ones that have been doing all the work, and they have been the ones that do the work. Divine masculines were easily distorted, and they can be easily taken off path, taken off journey to forget who they are, because once the two of them come back into union, and that transfers everything around on a multi-dimensional level. And when they come into union, that's when things start to get beautiful in this world. But when we're distorted and we're distracted and we're kept apart, it's by these kind of demons, these kind of implants and things. So when that's happening, it's like, I know that it's now my time as well to stand up and move forward, and I totally feel the shift since that happened. I've totally felt the shift, and it's the most beautiful shift that I've had of this reclamation of the divine masculine on this journey, and it's actually catapulted me into this new higher dimension of myself, and for me to realise that who I truly am and why I am truly here, and the journey that I've got to go on as well. And that's the thing with this, it's like we work in conjunction. When I'm going through something, it's releasing something with Diane, and vice versa. And we had a period there where we had sickness for a week or two nearly as well, and that was you see it as just food poisoning, for instance. It was really, really bad. Yeah. We were in bed for days with this food poisoning. It was just like, but I was getting loads of downloads, loads of transmissions coming through, loads of upgrades, loads of activations. So it was an actual purge. So it was like probably like an ayahuasca purge. Mm-hmm. That's the way it felt, because it went on for a week, and then it took us another week to actually recover and start to eat correctly again and stuff. And I just feel as if it was everything's coming in divine timing, and it's coming like this year especially. It's coming for everybody like this. It's the universe is just going, swiping your feet away and basically transforming you immediately. That's just the way it's happening for us, and I feel as if that's a collective thing as well.
Yeah, and it is coming up collectively. Like after I experienced this, I was just journeying through it on my own, and from my own gnosis and the guidance that I was receiving of what was actually happening to me. And then since, as always happens, since I got confirmation of what I was actually moving through, the initiation that I was moving through, I've then seen like other people speaking about it, I've seen other people posting about it. So it is a collective thing that we are clearing out from our own fields, this dark mother, dark father consciousness as the divine union of Holy Mother, Father God is anchoring into the grid. So that, as Gary said, the divine feminine ray of the Holy Mother has been anchoring in for quite some time, but now the Holy Father energy has returned. And it's creating this beautiful divine union frequency on earth, where we're actually able to clear out really deep distortion. At this time, we're able to clear out these anti-hiragamic reversals, implants, sexual misery implants, lunar reversals. We're able to clear out the deepest distortion that we're holding in our fields, in our cellular memory, in our physical body. And what that might mean for you is that you are going through a period of extreme darkness, or what feels like extreme darkness. Yeah, it's not pretty, exactly, Melanie.
Oh, it's no, and we are never truly apart energetically.
No, that's beautiful, thank you. We are never truly apart, and but we're going through this. You might be going through a lot of initiations, probably more initiations at this time than you've ever gone through on your spiritual ascension journey, because we are really now dismantling the patriarchy. We're dismantling the patriarchal implants, the patriarchal programs, belief systems, the control systems, and we're actually releasing this from our field. So what happened to me was, after the release of that that demonic being. And I will say that these are demonic beings. So there's an archetype of the dark goddess that's kind of portrayed as just similar to the dark feminine. It's not. The dark mother energy is not the same as just the dark feminine traits and attributes of, you know, being powerful, speaking your truth, having strong boundaries. This is actually demonic entities that are holding Luciferian frequencies. So there's many of them, Lilith, Kali, there's different ones, different archetypes that you might connect with or relate to that are part of your genetic makeup. And it is a dark mother consciousness that we've been hosting within us, either through a reversal or an implant, or either that you've agreed to take on that contract. There are certain people that take on that contract to host both the shadow and the Sophianic feminine, to transmute that. And that's what I was going through. But afterwards, when I knew I had released it, you know, I was tired, I was lethargic, but I felt a deep pain, a deep sadness, a deep grief. And it was like waking up every morning just feeling depressed. I've felt depressed before, so I know what depression feels like, but feeling depressed, feeling like everything's pointless, feeling like, you know, I don't feel connected to my mission, I don't feel connected to my path, nothing's inspiring me, nothing's motivating me. You know, I'm in this beautiful country, this paradise country, and I wasn't even wanting to go swim, I wasn't wanting to go to the beach or anything. I was like, I don't really know what's happening to me. And I just went into meditation with God and I asked God, what is this? What is this that I'm experiencing? And I got through, it was the pain of the patriarchal domination, of the patriarchal abuse of the masculine. Now, I'm going to say the masculine, but it's not actually the masculine, but it's, you know, I did have a lot of anger at the masculine, because you connect the masculine to patriarchy. However, it's not the masculine, it's actually an off-planet energy, it's a negative alien agenda energy that's working through certain beings on the planet. So it's not the true masculine consciousness, but I did have a lot of anger, but just this deep sadness of patriarchal control and patriarchal abuse that I had to release from my cellular memory. And in order to release it, you need to feel it. You need to pierce beneath the distortion to get to the emotion behind that distortion, so you can release it from your field. That's how we dismantle the patriarchy, because we don't hold these patriarchal implants and beliefs and programs within us anymore. So it is all about right now doing the deep internal work and going through whatever initiations you need to go through in order to fully expel these distortions from your field, from your cellular memory, so that you can come into deeper harmonious union within and with God and with your counterpart, if that's part of your journey at this time. And we've been going through initiations for the past 6 months, probably the deepest initiations we've went through on our spiritual ascension journey and our divine union journey. When we first came to Mexico, we were releasing a lot of ancestral entities, leaving that grid and clearing out certain timelines and doing ancestral healing enabled us to fully release the ancestral entities that we were holding, because we hold ancestral entities as well from our lineage. So ancestral curse breaking isn't just about, you know, not conforming and, you know, changing the behaviour within the lineage. It's about releasing the ancestral entities, and you actually have to exorcise these entities, these demons, from your field. So it's about realising if you're feeling dark energy, or you're feeling an entity in your field, or you're feeling like something really dark is coming from within, because it came from within from me, it didn't come from without. It's about connecting into that on a deeper level and asking your higher self, God, what am I moving through? What are these initiations I'm moving through, and how can I release them fully from my being to hold more light? Because effectively, we need to release these distortions to hold more light and to anchor more of the divine union frequency into the grid at this time. So we just wanted to share a bit around that and why we've been quiet, why we've not been putting ourselves out there, why we've not been feeling called to do so many collective transmissions or activations or guidance or readings or anything like that. We've really been moving through the deepest initiations on our path since coming into union, even for me, since awakening in 2018, so that's like 7 years. These are the deepest, darkest initiations that I've moved through all that time. And when we had the illness, which came directly after the exorcism of that Lilith entity, from my field, from my consciousness, we then had this, well, it was salmonella, we feel it was salmonella, but it was like the final physical purge.
Aye.
To get it fully out of our bodies.
That's what I was getting through when we were going through it.
Yeah, so that was another week of intense initiation.
Horrendous initiation, but it was meant, because I done some therapeutic vomiting in that time as well, so that brings up a lot of traumas as well, and stuff like that, and I done coffee enemas as well, trying to expel it out of my body and stuff. So, but it was horrendous, but it was truly needed, and like Diane's saying, it's the initiations. When we look at it as a multi-dimensional level rather than looking at it on a physical or a lower dimensional level, that's when you start to see the beauty in it. And it's like everything has got beauty in it, even the deepest, darkest parts of it. And I learnt that through my depression, my mental health, all these things. So I've been in that position, and now that I see everything totally different and I feel everything totally different, it's the most beautiful thing, because I know that everything shall pass. Everything is an initiation, everything is an upgrade, and that's the way I see everything totally. And it's just a positive mindset of moving through this, and knowing that the universe and God is always there. It's always guiding us, and no matter, like, sometimes it'll shake us up because we need to move quicker. When we know there's blockages and stuff like that. I'm saying about the med beds, the blockages, and we just need to release these blockages, because we're holding on to a lot of cellular memory from past distortions and past timelines when things went wrong in the world or the planets or the universe, when there was wars and stuff, and so we hold on to a lot of these traumas, these things. So whatever way that the body needs to expel them, is going to expel them. And
we need to feel them, and that's the thing. Very much in the New Age spiritual community, it's all about working in the upper chakras and clearing things out and
tapping into your higher dimensions,
your higher aspects. And it's like, the reality is we need to feel the pain. So wherever we're holding pain in our bodies from, like, the falls in consciousness, because in, like, these specific timelines we did have true divine union, true divine love and true abundance, and we were kings and queens,
gods and goddesses
in these timelines. And what happened is negative forces came in, anti-life forces came in, and they destroyed it, they desecrated that, they tore us apart. And we hold that within our cellular memory. We hold pain of the separation of our union, of the desecration of our divine union temples that we created, our king and queendom. And what the work that we're doing now, because of these divine union frequencies that are flooding into earth, and that unification of Holy Mother Father, and this, like, 12th, 13th dimensional frequency, that 14th, 15th dimensional frequency that's flooding into earth, these aurora and new earth frequencies, is actually allowing us to heal all of this, to heal the falls of consciousness, to heal the pain, the patriarchal wounding, the separation from our counterpart. It's allowing us to alchemise it all, but we're doing that in such a way, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it in your body, you're going to feel it in your field. You might feel entities coming up, you might feel reversals being released, you might feel a lot of darkness, you might feel a lot of grief, a lot of pain, a lot of shame, a lot of fear, because we are actually alchemising these emotions through our physical body and through our fields. That's what we're actually doing, and this is the true organic ascension journey. This is the true restoration of the solar king, solar queen template on earth. And since that exorcism, that's what I'm going to call it, because that's what it felt like, since exercising that within my being and releasing those patriarchal wounds, which is what I've been moving through the last few weeks, I just feel a deep sense of peace and a full reclamation of my Sophianic template and my solar feminine template, and I feel it anchored into my being, and I feel that shadow aspect that's been with me my whole life. She's gone, she's not there anymore. It's like pure divine blueprint, Adenic blueprint, restoration that I've integrated into the core of my being, and that we've integrated through our union, where Gary's now able to reclaim, because I'm holding less shadow feminine codes, Gary's now able to reclaim his true solar masculine template as well, because that shadow aspect has been released. And we wanted to just come on and talk a bit about it, because I know other people are moving through very similar things, very similar initiations, very similar experiences, and we just wanted to say that we're getting ready to come back. We're getting ready
bigger and bolder.
Bigger, bolder, holding more light, embodying more of that solar masculine template and frequency, and really, really more focused on what it is we're here to do, what it is we're here to create, what it is we're here to birth, what it is we're here to anchor into Mexico, into this grid of Mexico, and
into the world.
You know, our consciousness our frequency has raised again, our consciousness has expanded, and we're now much more of a frequency match for that which we're here to birth, and that's which we're here to call in, and that's through doing this deep, deep work. So it is worth it. Even at times it feels really dark, it feels really heavy, there's a lot of resistance, you might not want to do it. I went through a period there where I thought I just want to go back to my old life. I actually went through a period where I was like, I'm sick of, you know, feeling like I'm not in my new, I'm not fully anchored into my new vibration yet, but I'm feeling a kind of, I don't know if it's like a longing for the old, if you like.
It's a test. It's just a test to see if you're going to keep going or you're going to give in. And like, it's impossible to give in. It's impossible to go back. Once you're on this journey, it's like it's a totally different life. It's a totally different mindset. Everything is totally totally different vibration, frequency, energy. Everything is totally different, and to go back is very, very hard. Would be, and it's not, wouldn't be like a as if you've failed. It would just be unlivable. It would just be impossible to go back into that life, and that's that for me. It's like, and Diane, I can speak for Diane because I know that the two of us are the same person here, and the two of us to go back and we need to have this. We need to go through these initiations of where we're being tested to see if we want to give in or give it, and these things always come in when you're just ready to step up into a new level. So that's be mindful, and if you did go back, you would
thank you for the rose.
You would be like, it just would be impossible
all the
to live.
support. Thank you. Yeah, but I did go through a feeling there of feeling like, you know, I wish I could just go back to normal. I wish I could eat what I wanted, and I wish I could, like I actually said, I wish I could eat a McDonald's.
Aye.
Because I've got issues with my gut. I'm gluten free. Obviously we had that illness there as well, and that brought me right back on track with my diet, because I was starting to eat. I don't eat a lot of processed food because I can't tolerate it.
You don't get a lot of processed food.
And I'm gluten free, so but we were starting to eat a bit of sugar. We were starting to fall into those patterns of eating cakes. So they were gluten free cakes, but still cakes.
They're gluten free and sugar free.
They're sugar free as well, but still there's still that. What eat sugar, isn't it? Have that treat or whatever.
But that's what happens when your vibrations being
dropping,
lowered, when you're releasing these things. So it's all about it comes in conjunction when you're starting to, when things are coming up. It's a good thing to be mindful of when you're starting to feel that way. You're starting to see the pattern dropping. You're starting to get into these old programs. Habits, you're being initiated into this next level of where you're going. And that's like when if you can get on top of that quicker than longer, you'll move up into the next level quicker. So it's just being mindful and starting to track things.
A purge of that for me, like when I was unwell, and you know I tried to therapeutic vomit about 2 or 3 times. I couldn't get it up, so I had to get it up a different way. Because for a few weeks before that happened, that exorcism of that Lilith entity, I had a really heavy feeling in my chest. Like I felt there was something sitting there. Like I could feel it. So it was obviously starting to come up. So I tried to do the therapeutic vomit, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't get it up. So it came out. It was like God just took over and was like, no, we're going to purge this out of your body, and it was coming out the other end. Too much information maybe, but it was...
We weren't sick.
No, it was the other end. But it was just like flowing out, everything with water. We fasted for 4 days to try and clear it out as well, and then we had 3 days we only drank bone broth as well. So it was a purification and a purge of that darker consciousness that needed to happen in order for us to embody more of our higher self and more of this solar masculine and solar feminine, in order for us to move forward in our mission. And as Melanie said earlier, sometimes you need to take some steps backward to move forward, and it really felt like that's what we were doing. I was just going through, like, I actually said that, I wish I could just eat a McDonald's. I wish I could just go to McDonald's and eat a McDonald's.
You don't get McDonald's.
Don't even get McDonald's.
So there's, you get burgers and stuff, but there's no McDonald's. They're actually real beef.
But it came through to me that purging, that physical purge, was releasing from me addictive implants that couldn't be released because I hadn't released the full shadow feminine. So I had to release the full shadow feminine to release the remaining addictive implants that were in my abdomen and that were in my field. So deep initiations. I know a lot of you resonate with what we've been sharing, and it is collective. Thank you for the rose, Gosha, as well. It is collective. We are going through a period of clearing out really deep distortion in our fields and in our templates and our union templates, and
you're being tested.
You know, it's deep shadow work.
You're being tested at this moment in time to see if you're ready for the next level. So if you're falling back into old patterns or old programs, old self-belief systems, limiting belief systems, you're being tested to see if you're ready. Are you ready? And this is a question that you need to ask yourself. Are you ready for this deep dive? Are you ready for this deep initiation? Are you ready to step into this beautiful role that the world is waiting on? And that's like, we're moving through that, and we're being... This year's a big, massive year. This is going to... The next 6 months is going to be like humongous in the planet's ascension, and people awakening, and people coming online, and people stepping up into their power. The divine masculines are going to be coming online rapidly. Everybody's going to be coming online rapidly. You're going to be initiating, but you're going to be hit with these deeper dives and these deeper initiations of, are you ready? Are you really truly ready?
And that's what it showed us. Like, we weren't ready.
No.
We weren't ready for what it is we're here to birth, what we're here to, for our divine union legacy that we're here to anchor in. We weren't ready, because if you're still holding distortion in your field and you're still holding, you know, a lot of shadow feminine codes, you're not ready. You need to purify yourself, and you need to reclaim your true solar feminine, solar masculine template to be able to step out as embodied solar masculine feminine leaders. So that's the initiations that we've been moving through to prepare us for what it is we're here to create. And that feeling of being really disconnected from purpose, from mission, you know, not wanting to put ourselves out there, not wanting to serve, not so much Gary, more me.
Disconnected from each other as well, to an extent.
That disconnection from our union, which has never ever happened before, that's completely alien to us. We've always been very, very in cohesion, very connected, very, you know, just in flow that way within our union. So it was obviously the dark feminine, not even the dark feminine, the dark mother energy that had to be cleared out of our union template in order for us to come into deeper, purified union.
It showed me as well. It was a big test for me as well about how I was going to react, or how I was going to, the way I was going to be. And I mean, years ago in a normal relationship, you would be pissed off and angry and triggered. But I didn't. I held the line, and I basically supported, and I just knew that it was going to change. I just knew I had the faith, and I did work as well. Don't get me wrong. I did work on a daily basis on the energetic field of me and Diane and stuff, and obviously, because that's the kind of support we need at that time, because if Diane's shifting through us, and just the same if I'm shifting through it, Diane would do the work for me and assist me to get through it as well at ease and grace. And that's it was a big challenge. It wasn't a big challenge, it was a big step up for me as well, and to be that that divine masculine and just nurture and care and love and still be there at every level.
And it's very important that, because when you are releasing these really dark, distorted aspects of your consciousness, you know, the last thing you want is rejection. You know, people rejecting you and, you know, making you feel bad because you've got these emotions, or you're feeling a certain type of way, or you don't want to do certain stuff, because that's just going to reinforce negative belief patterns and programs.
We were just being tested on the union. That's the way I seen it. It was like we were being tested on it. Are we going to be here, and are we going to stick to the union? Are we going to anchor in this union between the both of us? And that was never in doubt, never in question, even although the things that were coming through were quite horrendous at times, and to see Diane going through that shift and that thing, it can be quite daunting and quite emotional, but I just knew that holding the line and being there, and for both of us, that's the thing. It's like, and that's the way it works in this journey, and that's when you know you're actually stepping into this hierogamic marriage with each other, and the union, the total union within, without, and all around us.
So that's what we've been up to. I hope you
enjoyed it,
and we are seeing it in other people. We're seeing it in clients, you know, people we're working with, other people that are sharing that they are doing this really deep work of clearing out dark distortion of their field of the dark mother, dark father consciousness, and the lunar consciousness is really being cleared out at this time. So we just want to honour everybody who's on this path, and the work that you're doing, the devotion. You know, we're making a difference. We are making a difference. We're not just, you know, it's not just about our union. Any work that we do and everybody does, it's a collective effort. So we are making a difference. We are clearing out these, you know, we're dismantling the patriarchy. It's effectively what we're doing through dismantling it through our own fields, and clearing out this patriarchal distortion and the separation between the masculine and the feminine that's been programmed into us. And in reality, it's not the masculine who did all this to us. It was the negative alien agenda, it was the anti-life forces, it was an off-planet energy. So we're healing this through our work. So we salute every one of you on this path. It does feel like you're going nuts.
Keep going.
It really does.
It's like, keep going. It's like everything's transforming. This is a transformative year. This is a year of completion. And this is like, just, you need to keep going and keep centering yourself, keep focusing on the womb, the hara, and just and grounding in, keep grounded and keep passionate, because we are winning, and we are moving forward, and this new beginning for everybody. The golden age is coming for everybody, and it's all about keeping that love for yourself. Make sure you're full of love for yourself, because that's the key to moving forward.
And also having faith,
faith
and trust. Like when I was moving through that, I had to keep having faith and trust, you know, that God had my back, that it was going to end, I wasn't going to feel like that forever. And it's just about that deep faith and trust that no matter what you're moving through, whatever initiations and experiences, that you are going to come out the other side a much more enlightened version of yourself. And we salute each and every, we need to go, so we've got a client actually, but we salute each and every one of you, and we honour everybody walking this path. We're all doing such beautiful, beautiful work. And
every small part is continuing on to the progress that we're making. Every small part, every day that you do. So just love yourself.
And just remember you're an amazing being. You're an amazing being here at this time on earth, you know, of ascension that happens every 26,000 years. You're here at this time doing this work, and we're actually going to heal all of this. We're actually going to heal the pain and the wounding of separation consciousness and come into unity consciousness, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So we love each and every one of you. Thank you for joining. Thanks for the support. We are Goddess. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And
love to all.
Yeah, we've got a client, so we better go. But love to all, and all to love. Have a beautiful weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. How do we come off?
I don't know.
Up here. Bye, everyone.
Two old grannies.